It's bust water, bust through when bust moves. Stay true to kill it, to stay smooth. Handsome brothers stay set in the mood, but they wanted funky rhymes from the brother so cool. Trying to check the vibes and set the conversation. The keenest minds to find this observation. I'm on 10 podcast, so don't not face it. We'll be the first to declare our greatness. Check it, I'm checking it twice. On the weekly, I'm busting, cause busting is life. If you don't know, now you do though. You should peep game, that'd be cool though. Cause your part is crucial, so get on the movement. If you ain't busting, don't know what you doing. Wasting your time and ignoring the truest. Some of the realest, they greatly influence. Kings in Montana creating a movement. Scrapping or rapping or laughing or acting. It really don't matter, cause this is our passion. We busting and trusting, it really is something. When it comes to our family, you know that we love them. That's how we roll. Montana in the house and we taking control. Podcast kings in the place to be. We taking over, just wait and see.
Slow down and catch the vibe. Weekly buzz, but we on the night. No boasting, true and tried. It's Buzzword, it's ride or die. Slow down and catch the vibe. Weekly buzz, but we on the night. No boasting, true and tried. It's Buzzword, it's ride or die.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We have Sean, the Muscle Shark Sherk.
Let's go!
Let's go.
Special guest.
And the special guest is son, Tegan Sherk, one of the highest level 133, 135 wrestlers in the world right now.
Rank number one in the nation.
Let's go.
If I'm corrected, right?
For youth wrestlers?
Yeah, for junior college.
Junior college, yeah.
I was.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. I love to hear that, man. We're a fan of wrestling here over here at the Weekly Bus, man. Our boy is Kai Stewart, and he's a fucking avid advocate for wrestling, man.
Absolutely.
And his work ethic is unmatched. The kid never stops. And I love to hear from another wrestler, especially from your guys' stature and your guys' legacy. Let's go. Welcome to the Weekly Bus.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us. And due to tradition, we're going to let you tell your story. Who are you? Where are you from? And where are you at now?
Let's hear from this legend, man. Let's hear it, man.
So my story is, I'm born and raised in Minnesota. I come from a large wrestling family dating all the way back as far as my grandfather, probably even further back. But I came from a huge wrestling family. I was introduced to wrestling at 4 years old, and I wrestled my whole life. I did well. I didn't compete in college, which is one of my biggest regrets, is not competing in college. But then I was able to take that regret and propel myself into mixed martial arts. I found mixed martial arts back in 1994, UFC number 2. And I fell in love with it, like instantly fell in love with it. I saw this thing on TV, and I felt like it really resonated with me as a wrestler who loves boxing, and I just always had a knack for fighting. And I saw mixed martial arts, and I made the introduction to the academy with Greg Nelson, where I trained my entire career. Ended up having 43 professional fights, fought for 4 world titles in 2 different weight classes. And I won the UFC world title twice. So, I was very, very fortunate to be able to dedicate my entire life to doing something that I love. And obviously, it's led to me to tremendous success as an athlete, which then in return, I was able to take everything I learned as an athlete, everything it took to be successful, in the cage and just as an athlete in general, and transfer that into the business world. And then I've been able to gain a lot of success in the business world as well. I've been retired for 13 years. Had a company called Training Mask for a little while that did very, very well. Ended up selling that off. Started my real estate business. I flipped about 150 houses in probably 13 years. I did 23 last year. I did 23 last year alone. So I'm also contracting for a company, Advanced Roofing here in Minnesota. They're right in Anoka, where I live. So, I just took everything I learned in the business world and propelled myself, using my fight experience, obviously, and just propelled myself to be successful in that industry as well. So, I pride myself for being a hard worker, and I pride myself for being a good father too. And that's kind of where my boys come into play, because I've spent my whole life and their whole lives actually teaching them everything that I've learned over the course of my life, and trying to help them be successful in school and athletics as well. So that's
Let's kind of get into that.
that's my
So,
story.
Tegan,
That's my story in a nutshell, pretty much.
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. That's a perfect segue, actually. So let's introduce ourselves to Tegan as well, man. Your father kind of just left you into a really good point. He's talked about his legacy and how he came up, and how his father treated him and where it's brought him to in his career. And now he's got, that legacy is getting ready to take that turn. Where are you at right now as far as your standing in your wrestling career and what you got going on as far as taking that reign?
And the transfer of knowledge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's an absolute genius in martial arts. Like he just keeps me growing in boxing, wrestling. I grew up wrestling my whole life as well. And I've been boxing since I was probably 6 years old, and I'm still continuing to learn every day from him. He's probably the toughest guy I've ever met. Like,
I paid him to say that.
no, he's. I just want to continue to be just like a bro.
That's incredible. I mean, look where it's gotten you so far. I'm excited to watch the growth now that I'm aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, no kidding.
So what's Tegan's end goal then? Like, how far do you want to take it?
Are you interested in combat sports and looking at going into maybe possibly jumping into UFC as well? Do you have ambitions to hit that road?
Absolutely. There's nothing more than I love than competing and off wrestling. I stopped wrestling for like a couple months, and I don't know. I kind of felt lost, and I don't want to feel that again. I want to be one of the toughest people in the world.
Absolutely, and that's okay.
I think you have a perfect end. Your dad, he already knows how to do it. You seem to be following his roads, anyways. Let's kind of talk about your guys' wrestling legacy, man. Starting, with Sean. Sean, you said you came in from Minnesota. We all know how much Minnesota loves wrestling. You guys have your Brock Lesnar as well over there. You guys love wrestling. And, how did things kind of turn over there? What was your guys' early career as far as yours? And then what have you been teaching your son and transitioning into that same stardom or even starting place for a wrestling career into UFC?
So, I mean, as far as I go, I wrestled through high school, and I placed in state every year. I wrestled freestyle. I wrestled folk style, there's 3 different styles. I didn't wrestle Greco, but I did wrestle freestyle and folk style. Back in my day, the sport has evolved so much over the years. Back in my day, there wasn't like off-season stuff really. There was no wrestling schools that there are now, like Pinnacle Wrestling Schools, one of the biggest ones in the country, probably. That's where all the best guys go and train. They train there year round. There was no such thing as that when I was growing up. So when I was wrestling, it was maybe 4 or 5 months out of the year I would compete, and then I'd have a big layoff basically. So as far as the evolution goes from my era to his era, it's not even a comparison. My wrestling ability was great. I was a really good high school wrestler. I was never nationally ranked though. I never wrestled in college. Like I said, one of my biggest regrets was not wrestling in college. Which is what propelled me to mixed martial arts, because I always regretted not competing past high school. So now enter mixed martial arts, and now for me to compete in a different sport, that I can still use wrestling as my main source of motivation, I guess you could say. But that's what propelled me into mixed martial arts, was the fact that I never took my wrestling career past high school. As far as he goes, he's just had access to all the things I never had access to. Not only the off season stuff and the schooling and the extra training. Dad, I won world titles, so I know what it takes to be successful as an athlete. The training, the coaching, the dieting, the recovery, the whole 9 yards. So
have you found it hard as a father laying that message over?
Hold on, he wasn't done.
I didn't want to. I wanted to catch him right there, though. I didn't want to miss that question. Has that been hard to transfer that knowledge?
So I've evolved. I've evolved. You know, I've evolved as a parent. I evolved as an athlete. Everything I do, I try to evolve at it. And you know, I've gotten better at relaying the message as I've gotten older and further away from the sport. When he was born, I mean, that's when I was fighting Nick Diaz. That's when I was fighting George St. Pierre. I was one of the best fighters in the world when he was just a little tiny baby sleeping in bed with me, and I had to get up in the middle of the night and change diapers and feed him a bottle. You know, when I'm getting ready to fight George St. Pierre. So there's kind of we got a fun story about that, right? So anyway,
I would love to hear it, man, because he's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, he's a legend for sure, and I love the fact that I was able to step into a cage with him and fight him. So, you know, but my point is the further I've gotten away from the sport, and the more time that has taken place, I've actually evolved as a better coach. I think, a better mentor and a better coach. So I'm not so close to it like I was when I was competing. I was right in the mix. So for me, my mentality was win or die, right? Well, that's not the right mentality to try to teach your children something the right way. So I've gotten better as a coach, and I've evolved as well. So, you know, that's always awesome. My goal, like I said. So,
go ahead. Did you have
no, go ahead, buddy.
Okay. So, while we talked about it, I guess I'll just bring it up now. Kyle Serber, our boy, he says we get a chance. So, what do you think about the GJ Penn situation now? Now that since you have gotten that time and space to, you know,
well, his situation now is developing because he just got arrested, and I want to talk about it anyway. It's a really good point, and this is for everyone in this conversation. We're all gentlemen here. This is June. This is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and he may be battling from some CTE, from some serious, injuries, because he's accusing his family and stuff of being like clones, and just got arrested. And do you have any comments on his situation? Concerning men's mental health and taking care of yourself, especially in this kind of sport, such as combat sport?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, quite frankly, I mean, I see the videos and stuff like that. And of course, it's all over the place. But with being there firsthand, it's really hard for me to give any kind of opinion or statement on that. I don't know what you guys through. We had our thing. We fought each other. We didn't like each other when we fought each other. But then after we were done fighting, I said, "Hey, we're cool now, right?" He actually called me at one point in time when he was getting ready to fight Frankie Edgar for the first time. He actually called me 2 or 3 weeks before the fight. He wanted to fly me out to Hawaii to train with. I want to fly you out tomorrow. I'm like, dude, I can't fly out tomorrow to train with you. I've got 2 kids that are like in elementary school. I can't just jump on an airplane. But we did become friendly with each other after that fight was over. So I don't have anything bad to say about him. I don't know what he's going through personally. If he's battling demons, I wish him nothing but the best, because he's a legend of the sport, multiple time world champion. He's one of my 4 losses. So I know he's tough. So I wish him nothing but the best. Whatever you're going through, I just hope he's able to figure it out. Say again.
I respect that. Actually, that's a good answer. I like that.
So Tegan, sounds like you want to jump into UFC. Your dad has said he had some early ambitions. Watching early UFC, he mentioned that's kind of it's sort of his ambitions watching that early shit. And we had a chance to speak with one of the early guys, Ken Shamrock. Was that one of your inspirations, Sean? Number one, and then Tegan, who's one of your inspirations from modern UFC?
I like. I liked Connor's mindset a lot. I do like Ilya Topuria a lot as well. I like Dustin Poirier. Yeah, Ilya Topuria. I like Dustin Poirier. I mean, I like them all. I respect every single one of them at that big stage. Those guys are hammers, dude. And I want to be just like them. It's hard to pick and choose which ones I like, because they've impacted the sport like nothing else, and I want to make an impact like that someday.
Man, I love to hear that, especially from a young state of mind, man, that's coming into the sport. We see some really cool people be developed in front of us. Sean O'Malley's from Montana.
Yeah.
And we watched his rise and his stardom come, man. It happens, man. It's a dream that's so achievable. You're sitting next to a man, your father, who let that dream actually happen and develop as well from hard work and dedication. What are you guys doing as a team, a father and son duo, to speaking, a shout out to you, happy Father's Day, happy belated Father's Day, as a duo,
Appreciate it.
working together, to make that dream a reality? What do you guys do specifically?
So on my end, I just give him as much knowledge as I can. I mean, he refers to me as his mentor a lot. I'm his dad, obviously, but I'm also a mentor. I give advice. I lead. I point what direction you want to go. I'll grab a shovel. I'll lead the way. So I try to be a good role model for him. I try to give him good advice. Try to look at things at a different perspective all the time. Um, we're constantly talking about training and evolution as far as adversity, dealing with adversity, evolution of training and diet and recovery is a big one. We've got all kinds of recovery stuff here at the house that we use. So the goal is to just keep giving him what he needs so he can keep climbing that ladder. As I say, there's always ladders that you're trying to climb, not only as an athlete, but as a person, as a businessman, there's always ladders that you have to climb. And he knows that. So, he wrestled last year in junior college, took third in the country. He's going to go back to another junior college this year to get his AA, so he can qualify as a Division 1. Then he wants to wrestle Division 1,
NCAA.
NCAA. Yeah. So I mean, his goals are always to win national titles, win world titles. So my job is relatively easy. This kid puts the work in. Like, if you guys remember my videos of training back in the day, like my UFC All Access, all this crazy stuff I was doing. That's what he's doing. Like, there's no stones unturned. This kid trains so hard, and he's so easy to coach, because it's like he'll run through a wall if you tell him to run through a wall. So he's always pushing, and I find myself actually trying to scale him back. I'm like, he wants to train 3 times a day. I'm like, wait a second. Let's just train twice today, and let's do some recovery. Let's do a whole bunch of recovery today, and instead of that third workout. So especially in the off season, you don't need to work out 3 times a day in the off season. During season, sure, maybe, but off season, now it's time to get better and heal. So
Yeah.
as an athlete, he has all the right tools mentally and physically. He's going to have the ability to do it. So we and I'm just gonna throw it out there because I think it's kind of funny, but ever since he was real little, can you turn the light back on? Yeah, they
Hi,
just
Mom.
shut the light off. So anyway, so many years, ever since he was 4 or 5 years old, he's been telling me we're going to be the first father-son UFC world champions in history. So we're hoping maybe we can make that dream come true someday. We'll see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Tegan, where do you want to wrestle Division 1 then? You got a location yet?
I've been training at the Minnesota Gopher room for a couple months now. I love the room. I think it's the best room in the country to be at. I love the people there, the training partners. I love the coaches. But I mean, I'm just swaying. I'm just letting things come. I'm not trying to force anything. If someone has a really good offer,
I'm sure the Gophers are feeling awesome about having someone like you in their room right now themselves, man. They got a potential world champion on the come up. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It'd be nice to have them on someone like you on their roster. I'm sure they're licking their lips.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, for sure.
Yeah, I mean that room is so much fun. That room is so much fun to be in, just because there's so many hammers in that room. I mean, there's legends in that room. He's rubbing shoulders with Gable Steveson, and you've got national champions as coaches and world team guys, and just the knowledge in that room is so amazing. And I love going there. I go there like once a week just to watch, just because I'm a fan, right? And he gets to go in that room. He gets to go in that room, 4 or 5 times a week. And I always ask him, "Who'd you train with today?" And he, "I trained with so and so, and world champion." I'm like, "Oh, that's so fun to be able to do that." You know what I mean? So there's an old saying that iron sharpens iron, and you're definitely when you're in that room training with that group of guys, your iron is sharpening iron. So it's pretty cool to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So early on, you're known Sean, you're known for your training videos. So
Yeah.
where did that drive come from? Like to just
He was quoted. Yeah, he was quoted, man.
Right.
Like the world's craziest
most
like
conditioned
athlete.
athlete.
Yeah.
I think that's what the quote was, right? So where did that
Yeah,
come from?
you know where that came from was just having a, you know, I always trained hard all the way back to when I was a little kid. So you know where that came from was just my evolution of an athlete, and the biggest part where that came from was my motivation to win and fear of failure. So I did not want to lose, man. I hate losing. I just couldn't stand the thought of watching somebody else get their hand raised, and I was willing to do whatever it took and just train as hard as I possibly could, evolve as an athlete mentally and physically, to just try to win as many fights as I could. And I want to win a world title. I wanted to be able to pay my bills, and doing something I love to do, which is, you know, everyone's kind of dream, right? I mean, you guys love what you're doing, and hopefully you can pay your bills doing it. And so yeah, I mean, there was a lot of different motivating factors there, I think, and having kids was a big motivating factor too, because now I have more mouths to feed. So
Right. Okay. I get that.
So you're one of the early faces of one of the largest companies in the world now, as far as even sports even go. Seeing the progress that Dana and everybody else has brought the UFC to, are you preparing your son for social media and the social aspects and the publicity that the stars now get? You know, because you even were a little
And like
yeah, I mean, you came little after the, during the Chuck, the Chuck era. You know what I mean? You guys just still didn't even get the publicity that they're getting now.
Just before Facebook,
huge.
like just before Facebook. You know?
Some of these stars don't even get to walk around anymore. You know, he mentioned Conor McGregor. I had a chance to meet Conor. He had a chance to meet Conor.
Not like that.
He's a superstar. You know, he's surrounded by nothing but bodyguards, and he has a ton of entourage now. The guy's a massive superstar. Have you prepared your son for that kind of transition?
well, you know, I mean, I caught some of that on the tail end of my career, but I was part of the grassroots era, right? When I had my first mixed martial arts fight, I think it was illegal in every state except for one. So there was no media. There was no media. It was dubbed human cockfighting. There was no media involved. But fast
we
forward
went through this stage though with BKFC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, fast forward towards the end of my career, I started getting some of that media, but we were never on ESPN. We weren't on Yahoo. We weren't. There was no big social media. There was none of this podcast kind of stuff. So, I never experienced the type of fame that these guys do now. And to be honest with you, if I'm going to be completely bluntly honest, I didn't like the fame. I really didn't. I didn't like going to a restaurant and ordering food and signing 100 autographs before I ate my dinner. And that happened, so I did have fame. I went into a grocery store and I'm in there for 45 minutes and, I just got to be me. But, I go into a men's bathroom, I turn around, there's 3 dudes standing behind me waiting to take a picture. I just got done taking a leak. It's like, dude, I didn't like that kind of stuff. So I really didn't. So that was probably my least favorite. That was my least favorite part of it. But like I always tell him, with fame and publicity comes opportunity. Opportunity creates money, basically. So it's a business, and this is just part of the business. And I'm trying to get him acclimated to this stuff right now by doing these kinds of interviews, so he can start getting acclimated. So when it's his time, then he'll be ready to go.
Yeah, because that social media marketing is such a big aspect of it now.
Yeah, 100%. That presence matters. And then when you get a title, if you do reach that level of success, I mean, it's a given now anymore. You know what I mean? That title just brings all that fame, whether you want it or not anymore, because there's so many eyes that are on the sport.
I see these guys on TMZ and so did this, and it's all over the place. And it's like, I'm glad I wasn't part of that, if I'm going to be honest with you, because I had a good level of fame, but I could still go up do stuff and not end up on TV because of it. You know what I mean? So I could still have some fun and some privacy as well.
I mean, that's the pluses and the minuses, right? If you didn't like the media, then you're still able to go, a different state over and have a good time.
But right. So you did come up into, like you said, the kind of the grassroots, but it was also the most. Yeah, you're getting now UFC is getting to the age of like NBA where you can cross-reference generations. to see my generation would have beat that generation's ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's getting to that point where you can cross reference. You know,
I mean, over 300 events now, right?
fuck yeah.
Fuck.
And when you start thinking about this guy's banged with some of the greatest, man, he's one of the greatest himself. He got GSP's. Kyle Serber mentioned in there. You know, he had a list of bangers. You know, a hit list. Matt Hughes, GSP, BJ Penn,
Frankie had
Florian, Kenny Florian. You know what I'm saying? Like
Montana.
these are considered legends.
Matt Hughes, you know what I'm saying?
Now when you look it back, who would you line up, my man, in like today's like 5? Like if there was a team of legends versus modern legends, you know, you could take your Connors and your John Joneses and all.
Oh, your 5 best from your era
versus the modern.
So what?
era.
UFC 100 down and then UFC 100 up, or
Yeah.
150 because it's 300, right?
Let Tegan pick the modern era.
All right, let's do that. Father son top 5 UFCs. You fellas go.
He's going to be better at this. I haven't watched a fight in 10 years, so you could name off a bunch of names, and I wouldn't even know who they are. So when I retired, I walked away from the sport. I started doing other
So
stuff.
you want me to compare like styles or like just good matchups?
No, who would you pick to see?
Top 5 from back in the day.
Like,
yeah.
what fights would you want to see? Old school and new school.
Oh, okay. With my dad or
Just
your era?
Include your dad, of course.
Absolutely include your dad.
Yeah.
Shit.
Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see.
Biasedly, unbiasedly, you know what I'm saying? Shit.
Yeah, your dad's a legend, man. He's banged with everybody, dude.
Islam versus GSP.
Woo! That
Are they both
that could
170?
happen. They've gotten close, man.
Are they both 170?
No, wait. So GSP was welterweight.
Oh no, was
but
it GSP and Khabib? Man, they wanted people to line up.
Oh yeah, Khabib and BJ Penn.
Oh,
like
shit.
in his prime, yeah.
Khabib and BJ Penn. I think I got BJ Penn.
That would be a dog fight, man.
Yeah, because BJ Penn, that's all he did was fight wrestlers. That's all he did. And Khabib was the most dominant wrestler.
That's
So I think that'd be a great matchup.
That's a damn good matchup. I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, as a wrestler who fought BJ, he did pose a lot of problems. His striking was so good, and his takedown defense was just on point. So, and his jiu-jitsu was crazy good too. So even if you did take him down, you have a whole new set of problems on your hands. So, I mean, I think in his prime, and again, I haven't watched a lot of MMA in the last 10 years, so maybe I'm a bad person to make a comment like this, but I think it would have been a pretty cool fight to see. And then GSP against whoever the welterweight champion is now in GSP's prime, that would have been awesome too. So, and even Matt Hughes, I mean, he could have fought anybody in this era and been successful as well.
Matt Hughes, that's a dog, dude, for sure.
If I could have seen anybody in like modern versus old, if they could catch or either weight, you know what I mean, I would like to see Dustin versus GSP. It would have been the dopest fight ever.
Yeah, that would have been a good fight.
Yeah.
All right. I think you got 3 more, Tegan.
And if not,
Okay.
If not, we can move on. But it's,
for sure.
if he's got one. He's got one.
And while he's thinking, man, I would like to, even go on with, you basically saved a division, man. Your rivalry with BJ Penn sparked a fire in that whole division. Let's just be real. It brought a lot of eyes there and it brought a lot of excitement to UFC with having you guys kind of have that rivalry go back and forth. People wanted to see it.
Yeah, and that was a fun era, I think, of my career, and that was probably the height of my career, was right around that time, because I had the UFC has this media blitz that they do, and I had full UFC media blitz behind me, so my career just exploded, right around that era, and I was able to gain a lot of notoriety with, that was back in the free era of sponsorships. Now the fighters, they can't have sponsors anymore. Back in my day, you could plaster yourself from head to toe with sponsors, and every one of them were paying you. So we made a lot of money in sponsorship back in those days. And And we just had a lot more freedom to do different stuff that the guys don't have freedom to do now, with merchandising contracts and stuff like that, merch agreements. We never had any of that stuff. So but anyway, yeah, with like I was saying before, with exposure comes opportunity, and with opportunity comes money. So that just goes down to that same concept there. So, but yeah, I mean, being a part of that era, I was the first guy to win the UFC titles. Well, when Jens vacated, he vacated, and I think he went to Pride, if I remember right. And then
Yeah.
the division was open for years. There wasn't even a 155-pound division, and UFC calls me after I fought Diaz. I was a 170 pounder. I had 35 fights at 170, and UFC calls me and says, "Hey, can you make 155? And if you can, we're going to give you a world title fight." And I'll immediately, I'm like, "Yes, I can make 55." I only walked around at 175, fighting at 170, so I wasn't a 70 pounder.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how that came about, and then the lightweight division was reintroduced. I was the first champion that reintroduced the weight class, and then it really took off. I think it became
You're looking at it
one
today.
of
I
my
know that you don't watch UFC today. That is a huge, huge, huge division now, man. Like we're getting ready to see Tapoya fight and all that. That's 155, right?
Ilya's 45.
Is he 145?
Yeah,
Still, man. Then you got Volkanovski and all those guys.
45.
He went
Really?
up. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Ilya went up.
Did both of those guys go up?
Yeah, I swear that I think they're at 155, aren't they? Maybe I'm not.
I thought Ilya's still at 45. I'm gonna Google it real quick.
So
I'm gonna
just out of curiosity, because I haven't seen the sport for so long. I was 175, dropping down to 155.
Oh,
Are these guys big now? You think they're cutting more weight?
Yeah.
I think the weight, dude.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna actually. I love that you brought this up.
I bet
Because
they're walking around at least 70.
these guys, like I said, from new to old, you guys in the older era were bad muscle machines. Like they even called you a muscle shark. You guys were bad motherfuckers. Look at your guys' physiques now to then. Now it's kind of shifted into that NBA athletic. These guys are athletic as fuck. Do you know what I'm saying?
Long
And
and length.
and not only that, they're
Length.
spending tons of money in recovery. They're spending a lot of time. Look at Sean O'Malley and these guys when they do all access. This guy had Sean, you had one of the early all accesses, man. And they did a fucking good job, actually, because I rewatched it in prep for this episode. And they did a damn good job even back then going through. It was kind of like a day in the life with all access with Sean and his family and kind of how he did things. And I was kind of comparing to what they do now. There's so much recovery involved into modern UFC and MMA and all that. That's kind of, have you made any of those new adjustments concerning your son, even in because I heard you mention it, the recovery's big, bro.
You said he got recovery.
Yeah, I mean, as far as recovery goes, and again, this goes back to my era, I did not have access to that stuff. I didn't have access to hyperbaric chambers and red light therapy and all the stuff that people have access to now, the new crazy, all the supplements and all the stuff that people are doing now. I didn't have access to that stuff. Whereas now I do. So I'm huge in recovery because my body's fucked up. If I'm going to be honest with you, my neck is messed up. My shoulders are torn in 5 different places. I got 2 torn hips, 2 torn knees.
Right.
What's called golfer's elbow from all those years of boxing, slip disc, bulge disc in my neck. So my body's beat up. So just in order for me to be able to move and be able to train with him and be able to work, I have to focus a lot on recovery. So I went out and over the years, I just every recovery tool I can possibly have a shell hyperbaric chamber 2.0, which is absolutely amazing. I use that probably 6 days a week. Red light therapy, ice baths, hot baths. I've got a beautiful zero gravity massage chair that I sat in for an hour today. So I'm huge on recovery, and I introduce him to all the same stuff. Here's the stuff I didn't have. Now you have access to this, and you can actually help yourself propel to the next level because recovery is a big part of the equation.
I love that you talked about that. I know you had it's probably a sore spot, but I want to at least talk about it because taking supplements and all that it is a huge thing in modern day sports. Everyone seems to do it. you guys early on back in the day, do you think you were perhaps a victim of early supplements, and maybe something was in those supplements that you were taking that kind of affected your career? And also, and back in your career early on, it was more of a stigma than it ever has been, because if you fast forward, you got athletes, and I hate to mention it, but you had Sean O'Malley got popped hot, you had Ryan Garcia popped hot. There's some athletes that pop hot, but they bounce back. It doesn't damage the career like it used to. Did we lose him?
Yeah, you cut out on me for a second.
Oh, I don't know what part I lost you at. But are you guys watching out? Are you guys more aware in the potential dangers of taking supplements and stuff like that as far as looking forward? Seeing that kind of effect,
Yeah,
and
for
or
sure.
just kind of having that knowledge behind you now.
I think a lot of that stuff now is actually pre-tested to make sure, if they produce a certain kind of supplement in a factory that creates testosterone as well, they'll let you know that there might be some, trace, crossovers or whatever. So I think it's gotten a lot better. Everything's evolved since then. Where I think a lot of people are just going to be a lot more diligent on that. I do have a guy I talk to quite often just to make sure that, as far as supplements go, he's not him himself. I don't have him on a lot of supplements. It's mostly vitamins. We do smoothies every single day. We do hydrogen water. So it's all stuff that's really there's no real dangers with taking that stuff. But once we cross over to the creatines and the glutamines or whatever else we're referring to, then you got to really be a little more careful. I think.
Yeah.
I don't even know if creatine's allowed in the UFC anymore, but it used to be.
That's a solid question. I don't pay attention.
Not
to
100% sure.
It changes too much. Those guys are assholes, and in all honesty, man, I've heard so many Joe Rogan speeches and the advocacy of maybe potentially using them for recovery and all types of shit. And you have your Gordon Ramsay's a huge advocate, and not all that shit is the 90s. It ain't about these guys. A lot of it's super healthy as far as advocating for muscle recovery and shit. And it's sad that these athletes go through such hell from these guys privately, who have to show up, put them through hell. 3:00 in the morning. You hear horror stories of those guys doing it to them.
For the guys who test, they can show up whenever they want, right?
Right, yeah, and
I was like,
you hear of horror stories being evasive over it, even.
Well, yeah. I mean, we know because we're friends with Marnik. Man, she's in the UFC, and she's going through recovery from an injury right now. But they're still showing up. They showed up, I think, like twice the last 2 months. So
yeah,
and she's always she'll post her results and whatnot, always clean. But
yeah,
it's just that she's like, oh, that was a fun 5:30 wake up.
Yeah, it's a different era. Yeah, it's a whole different era. Like I said, the sport has evolved so much in the last 12, 13 years since I was competing that, and maybe for the better. I mean, that sounds evasive though. If I was in the middle of a training camp and somebody showed up at my house at 3:00 in the morning on a Thursday when I had to get up and train, I'd be kind of pissed off. I'd be like, dude, you couldn't have done this. Show up at the gym at 10 a.m. That's where I'm going to be, but don't wake me up at 3 in the morning. I'm a little frustrated with that.
And anybody out there watching, don't be afraid to comment. If you want your comment on the screen, just go ahead. Like my stepdad Roy and Ty's biological dad said, is the life of a fighter harder as you get older, such as weight cuts? So like later in your career, were weight cuts harder?
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever.
Yeah, you know what though? I didn't start fighting 55 until the end of my career. So I hated cutting weight. I wrestled my whole life, and I spent my whole life cutting weight. Ever since I first started wrestling, I cut weight my whole life, and I didn't like it. So when I started fighting professionally, I said, I will not cut weight. I'm going to fight my weight, which was 170. I weighed 175. I basically skipped breakfast to make 170. So I was not cutting weight. And towards the end of my career, that's when I started cutting weight because, again, these 50, 70 pounders were getting pretty damn big. And the last guy I fought at 170 was Diaz, and that dude was huge. And I remember walking by him in the hallway, the day before we fought each other, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, how the hell am I going to punch this dude in the face? He's huge. you know, and then it's and then George St. Pierre. I mean, these are just some big dudes, and I'm like, okay, well, the sport is evolving. I'm gonna have to go down to 55. And like I said, it was later in my career. I think it was probably 34, 35. It was later in my career, but the weight cut sucked. I mean, cutting 20 pounds when you got like 5% body fat. I mean, it wasn't fun, but fortunately, I had 30 hours to recover before I had to compete. So if it was same day weigh-in, that would have stopped that altogether. If they really want to get control of the weight cut, I hate to say this, but they should do same day weigh-in like they do for wrestling. He wrestles at 133, he's cutting 10 pounds. It's the same day weigh-in. You have about an hour and a half to recover after weigh-in, and that is what stops people from cutting 20 pounds. Because that guy that's cutting 20 pounds and then got to get on the mat an hour and a half later, he has about a minute and a half of cardio before he just takes a dive.
It shows.
And it shows. We know the guys that are cutting a lot of weight.
Yeah.
We know this guy's cutting 20 pounds. Put some heat on him. Put some pressure on this guy. Put some heat on him. He's going to be done. He's going to be done in that second period. So that's how you control the weight cut.
Okay.
Sean, I love hearing that experience come through. You are our first UFC world champion to come on the show. Thank you for just even gracing us, man. I have a request, man. Can we see your belts?
Oh boy, that's way upstairs. I don't take me.
If you ain't got up here, it's okay.
I mean, I was gonna say, okay. So who are you fighting on the wall then? Who's back there?
You look like you're in a poker room or something.
In the picture back here,
BJ.
Yeah, the one in the middle.
That's BJ. That's BJ Penn in that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You versus BJ? Heck yeah.
Legendary. Speaking of all the sponsorships and the freedom you guys had, man, BJ Penn's shorts were fucking fire, man. He had the karate shorts,
and now you can't even have custom shorts. I think except for Co and Maine, I believe.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% on that, but. Yeah, you can't have custom shorts anymore. So.
Hey, Tegan, man, I'm excited to see you jump on the scene. I hope I get to see you some amateur fights, and if you ever get some fights lined up, you let us know. We'd probably like to pull up, and we'd like to see your career bloom. Sean, you've been great. We do have some in studio guests that's local. We got a guy that's he's coming up the soccer scene. He's 9 years old. He's flying down to Brazil, and he's going to represent Montana, man. He got selected into a small group of people who get to represent soccer.
Well, congratulations to him. Sounds pretty fun.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Anything else?
Nope. I think I covered mine. I don't want to keep anyone else any longer and keep people waiting. So thank you. I do. No, Tegan, we appreciate you. Sean, we appreciate you.
I was like, yeah, if you end up back in Las Vegas, man, just kind of reach out, let us know. And then as soon as you guys start, pumping them social medias as well, just tag us. We'll share.
Sean, stay in touch. We want to hear more from you, and we want to watch your son's career develop, and we'd love to have you guys back on as a team or even as solo. Tegan, that goes for you as well.
Tegan's got a Twitter and an Instagram, so if anybody wants to keep track of what he's got going on, you can just follow him on there. I've got a Facebook, so I post a lot of videos of him on there. But again, you can just follow him on there, and then you'll be able to. Apparently, somebody just brought my belt down. I don't know how they even knew you guys.
Let's go.
Hey!
I said my belt is put away, and here it is. Apparently.
Hey,
he
says it's collecting dust, man.
Yeah. I don't take it out. There's no reason to hang it up or anything. It's put away.
You're a legend, man. That thing is sweet. There's people around the world that just die for those things, man.
Yeah. That's an old school belt. So this was, this was 15 years ago. I'm pretty sure they've evolved many times since then. So this one's old school.
So rad. Hey. This is like a self-congratulations to ourselves, though. We have a world champion on the show right now, man. The UFC world champion. Let's go.
No, that's dope, dude. I like that old school belt, that old style belt.
That's been my favorite. It's one of my favorite belts of all time, including in anything, whether it's boxing or anything. It's one of my favorites.
The
Police Gazette for bare knuckle is actually my favorite belt.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I do love that. I love the way it looks. I love the design of that belt. Dude, Thank you for whoever found that, because that is such a rad accomplishment. Look at it.
Hey,
He's manifesting. Your
That's
boy's
right.
over there manifesting. He's like,
Yes,
I need this
sir.
in my life.
Yep.
Hey,
Well, hopefully
and we
someday, we're many years away from that taking place. He's got about 3-4 years of college wrestling still, and boxes in the off season. So, always training, always evolving, just like the sport is always training and evolving. So, hopefully someday we'll be able to make that dream come true. We'll see.
Wait,
I don't even see this thing either.
We fucking love boxing, man.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
even know. I must have missed when you said he was a boxer.
I
dude.
didn't hear that
I was
either.
like, because we're always kind of
He's been boxing since he was. He's been boxing.
So
He's been boxing
guess-
since he was about probably 4 or 5 years old. So if you follow me on Facebook, there's all kinds of videos on there of him hitting pads, and he can throw them pretty good. So he's getting pretty sharp.
Hey,
I'll be sure to check it out.
I was gonna say I've been friends with you for about a month now, but I've been following you for sure. Here we go.
Okay.
I'm excited to see these boys rise, man. Thank you for all your guys' time. Thank you for showing the belt. Thank you for everything as far as giving and offering the information that you had. And we can't wait to see your boy. Dude, go get it, man. Go get it. Go get a national. And we can't wait to see you drop some people in the UFC.
And
Appreciate
and
it.
now that we're approved for UFC media, when it's that time, 5, 6, 7 years from now,
we'll be
I
questioning.
was like,
you.
well, we'll be there.
Yes,
Because we just
Thank
got
you.
approved for UFC 2 days ago. So
we
let's
did,
go.
man. Let's
That's
go.
cool.
Well, congratulations to
Yeah.
you guys as well. I'm sure this is going to be a fun journey for you and part of your growth.
Hey,
Thank you.
we appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Hey, shout out to the Sherks. Kyle Serber, thank you for the shout out. We appreciate that. You guys, you have a good night, and we'll get you back on.
All right.
Yep.
We'll see you guys.
Let's
Yeah,
go,
have a
fellas.
great
Have
night,
a good
guys.
night. Sweet. Let's go. I'm gonna play some sponsor stuff real quick and shut the. Are we
Yeah. Sponsor stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Halftime Sports Bar, the best sports bar in town. Catch all of the action on our big screens, enjoy your favorite drinks, and savory mouthwatering tacos provided by Taco Treat. Feeling lucky? Head over to our casino with hot machines at Emerald City Casino, where the thrill never stops. And for a more laid-back vibe, check out Amigo Lounge, our sister establishment, offering a perfect blend of relaxation and fun, and food. Halftime Sports Bar, where sports, gaming, and great times come together. Your go-to destination for excitement in every quarter. Join us today and make every moment a winning one.
Protect your business with the experts at ASI. We specialize in fire alarm system design and installation, customized for your space. Our certified team handles inspection, testing, and maintenance, so you're always up to code. Need fully serviced fire extinguishers? We've got those too. And when seconds count, our panic alarm systems deliver fast, silent protection. Alert Services Incorporated. Reliable, responsive, and always ready. Call for a quote today.
Elevate your vaping and smoking experience with 20 Past 4, Montana's premier vape, water pipe, and accessory shop. Discover a world of possibilities at 5 convenient locations, 2 in Great Falls, 1 in Helena, 1 in Billings, and for our friends in Arizona, we've got you covered with a location in sunny Prescott. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are ready to guide you through the latest trends, ensuring you to find the fit for your lifestyle. Plus, don't miss out on exciting promotions and discounts, making your shopping experience even better. 20 Past 4, where quality meets satisfaction. Visit us today at one of our 5 convenient locations. Wait, yeah, I already did. Here, well,
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
and we are back. Oh shit, I gotta take this off. Yeah, okay, we are back. Let's go, baby.
We are live, and we are being joined by a special little guest. He goes by the name Blade. What up, man? Is he a Blade on the soccer field?
Nope. Yeah.
Come on, don't be shy, bro. Don't be shy. You got some big things, man. You're doing some big stuff out here in Brazil.
Yeah.
When do you fly out?
June 26th
Ooh, are you
to
nervous?
July 7th. A little, yeah.
You're a little nervous? You're a little nervous, but you got a team, right?
Yeah.
What position do you play on the team?
I usually play goalie and defense.
Let's go. Who's your favorite? Is it Messi or Ronaldo?
Oh,
Messi.
Let's go. We're a Messi house too. Messi all the way, right? Were you excited for him to come to Miami?
I'm not a Messi fan. I'm Ronaldo.
He played in Miami for a while, and I know
He's still
America was
in
super
Miami,
excited.
right?
Is he still over there?
He's still in Miami.
MLS, baby.
Are you gonna try to catch him while he's in the States?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, right. Are you nervous a little bit? Don't be nervous. This is the Weekly Buzz. We're good friends with your dad.
Yes, sir.
So how did you get on this team, Blake?
I did this ID camp with some Brazilian coaches.
And they were impressed.
Yes.
They seen you moving and grooving on the field.
Yeah.
Holy! So you study tapes? Are you out there, crossing, or what's your primary focus when you're out on the field?
What do you try to do when you play?
Just stay in the game and don't let anything get in my head.
There you go. I like that.
Focus. I heard you're fairly gifted in wrestling as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that smile there, that's where his passion's at too as well. You're a multi-talented athlete. You get some one-on-one time, I hear, with Mr. Kai Stewart, some world-class athlete there as well.
Yes.
So you're getting it seems like destiny's following you. You just followed Mr. Tegan Sherk from UFC. He was a former world champion.
Yeah,
you got one-on-one time with Kai Stewart, working on your wrestling. He's a world champion.
Yeah.
And now you're going down to Brazil. Those guys are absolute savages on the soccer field, man. Do you understand the level of those guys? Next level soccer players, bro. You're on the big stage. So what are you looking forward to learning down there?
Passing, ball control.
Is that right? You looking forward to the beaches?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they got big old snakes down there and everything. It's a very unique country. Are you excited just to explore a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you watched Rio?
Yeah,
the bird movie?
With the bird.
With the bluebird.
Birds.
Oh, yeah.
Rio 1, Rio.
Remember same area, man. Same area. You're going to the jungle, a much different area from Montana. Are you going to be joining?
Yeah. The family's going to go down. They fundraised to get one parent and him to go. And so family's going to go down and watch him. And they're going to get to train with some ex-World Cup players. And what do you get to do at the end of the week? What's the big thing at the end?
A 3-day tournament.
That is so
3-day tournament.
exciting.
Wow.
That is so exciting. So on the business side of Asset, how did he get here? What was the journey of Little Blake?
Yeah. So Bladen started with wrestling for a little bit. And then last year he actually hurt his arm in practice. And so the first thing he could do was get back to soccer. And he's played soccer since he was 4.
Okay.
And he started playing it more and getting more serious. And he stayed with it in the winter this last year instead of wrestling. And did futsal and really found his footing there, especially as an indoor goalie. He did really well. Wanted to try this ID camp and got selected. And he's been doing really well with soccer this year. How many goals did you have this year?
19.
Let's go.
Largely from defense.
That is insane. So you like to steal?
Yes.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. You're out here, but you don't waste them steals. You go in, or you like to drive in, or are you pretty good at teamwork, or you're mostly just a one-star show once you get the ball?
Teamwork and mostly one-star show.
He knows it. Fine balance.
Takes what the defense gives you is what his coaches taught him. And in the state championship tournament this last week, what did you do that coach said was the first time he'd seen it?
Score a hat trick from defense.
Oh, you got 3?
Yes.
Wow. Did you throw up the 3? Did you start running down the field?
No.
No,
maybe next
I'm trying to go for 4.
Maybe not. Don't get it.
He usually does the airplane after he scores. He likes to do that to go find his
celebration.
Teammates. Yeah.
You gonna get a few down there?
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
Hey.
That's exciting. Did you guys reach your goal then? If you haven't, why don't you go ahead and talk about it a little bit?
Absolutely. So we're just a little short of the fundraising goal. It takes about $8,000 to send a kid and a parent because flights out of Great Falls are not cheap.
It's just crazy.
The actual trip is really reasonable. but the flights are
You
pretty
know,
ridiculous.
There's a real thing about Montana. Montana doesn't like to let go of people, and they don't like them coming here either.
So we're trying to raise it. We've got a lot of sponsors so far. Want to at least shout out a couple of the big ones. Native to the 406, Dave Evans was a huge backer for him. Fusion Fight Lead, Modern Thyroid Clinic, which my wife works for, so it was very nice of them. And then Carpenters Local number 82, and VisionNet and Cody's Cars. Those are our big sponsors. We have over 20 local businesses.
What a stud, man.
Yeah, he's just awesome. But yeah, over 20 local businesses have backed him. We're going to list those on our Facebook. People can follow it. And then on your flyer you shared is my Venmo.
Yep.
And we're still accepting donations from businesses or from individuals. And if you want them to come to your business, we'll certainly bring them there before we fly out on Thursday. So get a hold of me, or if they get a hold of you, you know how to get a hold of me.
Yep.
We'd love to have a couple more sponsors. He's on the Rush National U.S. team for U9. So there's 20 kids from across the country, including 3 Montanans at his age.
That is insane. Let's just step. Let's just, that is, come on. That is crazy. Good job.
Upper echelon type
that
stuff.
That is crazy, man. You have hit a statistical level that not a lot of people get to, and the emphasis on that should be noted. That's awesome stuff. Let's go.
Yeah, so he's going to get down there. We've got Rush Team USA jerseys that'll do it. Rush is a national group that has teams all over the country, and there's 3 Montanans, a couple of his teammates. So next year they ought to be dangerous when they come back from training with Brazil. It'll be good.
Hey, Siebel Soccer Field's creating some fucking monsters.
No kidding.
Yeah, but I mean, it's no secret that some of the top U.S. athletes go to different sports, and so Russian people are really trying to do things and bring people like him up.
I am excited to see you, man. Me and you seem to have the same guy in mind. You're wearing Jesus on your neck. You're getting to go to a very special place down in Rio. They have a huge monument of Jesus. Maybe you get a chance with your dad to go up there and take a hike and get to see a massive monument. It's renowned worldwide. Yeah, you're going to a very special place. I'm really excited to see what you got going on, buddy. If you remember the name, you heard the cause. It's a great cause to get behind. Blade Hall. You got a long way to go, and I'm excited to see you shine, buddy. You have anything that you'd want to say to anybody that's looking to help you?
What do you say to sponsors, buddy?
Thank you for donating and sponsoring.
Absolutely. How about you, my man?
I think he said it all. I don't want to make it about me. I want to make it about him. He works a lot of hours at home, outside of practice, works really hard for a kid his age, dedicates it. So it's really all about him. And I wanted you to see that. If you didn't see that, look what he found.
Let's go, man.
Oh, I see it. Okay, it's a soccer ball. I like that.
That's awesome, actually. And that's where your heart is going to be. I'm hoping to see you shine, bro. You are our weekly highlight, and we look to see you in the future and to see you rise, especially in wrestling, too. And we keep an eye on you. I'll be asking Kai about how hard you go and how hard you're going to be flopping kids on the mat. Let's go, my man. I'm excited to see you. Thank you for coming, man.
Is that where you guys are going, Rio?
No, it's Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. See, that's what I was wondering.
Sick, dude.
That's where sick. I was gonna say. That's where the where football.
You guys are down there for a few days, though, and you get to bebop around, right?
How long are we down there for?
6 days.
June to what?
10 days.
10 days, man. You got a long time to get a lot of experience. I hope you soak it all in down there. I hope you get to hold the World Cup. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show, my man. And Levi, you have anything?
Hey, I just if you guys are wanting to sponsor him, just go find that flyer because I was looking for it. I just
Little Venmo, yeah.
It's a little Venmo.
My page, it's on his page, it's on the bus.
Yeah. So if you're wanting to do that, go to that QR code. I'm gonna hopefully find it because I know Ty sent it to the chat. So
yeah. Did you get to hear anything of what Sean was saying before you jumped on?
Yeah, a little bit.
That guy actually was known as one of the world's
best conditioned athletes of all time.
Yeah, one of the most fittest people in the entire world. His athletic regimen and how hard and how dedicated he was to working out on a routine every day was renowned across the world. They called him one of the most athletic people in the world. was really cool.
Very true. Here,
Yep.
take that. Sorry, just I'm trying to find this.
It's okay. It's going to be found on the Weekly Bus page. If you guys want to check us out on Facebook, it's going to be right at the top. I just posted it today. Blade is looking for a little help. I'm sure they're closing in, and it's a great cause to get behind. I can't see what we're at, Levi.
Oh.
I'm ready to kind of close out if you are.
Yeah, and I did get to do. I got this Do Hard to Sing one downloaded, so I'm gonna play it again.
Yeah, let's go.
Who are you?
I'm Tosh Singh with Singh Contracting. Are you Rodney Norman?
Aren't you a little young?
I've been doing this 12 years. Come on, let's talk.
I'm sure you will, man.
All right,
You got a bright future.
With that, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Sean Sherk, thank you for coming on. Tegan as well, and now Blade. It was a great episode. Thank you for. With that, we're getting out of here.
Yes, thank you. This is the Weekly Bus.
Peace.